Hey guys, it's Debo. So I haven't been posting a lot. I don't really know if I'm going to or not. But I felt like I really wanted to get this out there mostly because I was there and a lot of the narratives that are going around are not really true. So we're going to talk about 3 or 4 things, not really sure. I'm not going to be editing this. I'm not making this for clout, whatever. This is about the Astroworld Festival tragedy. I was there, and I'm basically going to go through my personal account. I'm going to go through basically what I saw there and the negligence of people, and then I'm going to talk about if Travis Scott is canceled. Spoiler alert, no, he's not going to be canceled. Anyway, let's get into this. So, I got there at 8 a.m., and there was a decent-sized line. We're standing there, and then there's like we're in like a little like barricade, like basically like a little line spot, and not a lot of people could get in there. So then about 30 minutes later, after I get there, more people jumped our little line place and jumped in there and tried to basically squeeze us all in. So we were basically like sardines. Like, that's the best way I can put it. Like, you can't really move, can't really do much. And while this is all going on, they're throwing shit. Like, they threw God, you name it. They threw water bottles, they threw fucking vapes, they threw toilet paper, they threw food, they threw bread. You name it, these kids did. Anyway, so basically we're just packed in there for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, thinking the gates are going to open at like 1 or whatever. And then I see, and a lot of other people see, like the gates like moving a little bit. And I'm like, ah, shit, here we go. So around 10 a.m., it was around 10 a.m., the gates busted. So what do when there's a crowd? You go with the crowd, because if you don't, you will get trampled. And I was in the merch line. Well, anyway, I'll get to that. So we do all that, and we get past security and stuff, and we're running in. And I don't know how many people it was. By the way, the people who broke down the gates, as far as the line I was in, all of us did have wristbands. It wasn't like we were not allowed to be there. Like, we talked. You had to get it. You had to show them your wristband before you were even able to get into that spot. So the people saying oh, these people jumped the gate that didn't have tickets, it's not correct. So that's the first thing. So after that, we run into the festival area. We're standing in line waiting for security to check us in, basically. And the whole COVID and vaccine card, they didn't check us at all. They didn't even check my pockets. They didn't do anything. Security was a literal joke. I mean, I will be the first to tell you, it was a joke. And I had friends who were going in later. I went specifically to buy them merch, because if you don't already know, Travis Scott's merch is just insane to get at any one of his things. And you got to get there early to do it. So anyway, I get in there, and we see the merch and everything like that. We're going through the line, and I have stuff in my pockets. I have a vape, wallet, all that stuff. They didn't check anything. And for future reference, basically, I had a wristband, just the Astroworld wristband for the 2 days. My friends came in 11:30, 12 o'clock, something like that. They got checked, and they got a vaccine little thing right here, and then they got also an over 21 thing, basically saying you could drink. I didn't get any of that stuff. They didn't check us at all. It was literally a joke. So we get to the merch line, and the merch line was nuts. I will literally be the first to tell you that. So I get there, we're waiting in line. I'm thinking, oh, there's 4 spots open. So basically, there's a whole bunch of people coming in as we're standing there waiting for the merch line to open. Because again, I was like, oh, perfect, I'll get everything done. I'll be able to enjoy the rest of the festival, whatever. So then we basically, I'm sitting there, and again, you're literally squeezed in like sardine, not even kidding, you're like sardines in most of these places where you're standing in line, because there are just people pushing and pushing and pushing. So we get there, and I am hearing the most outlandish things. I'm hearing if we all rush the merch line, if we all rush the merch booth, we all get merch. It doesn't matter. We can all just take it. And then if someone gets caught, oh, they could just take one for the team. And I'm like, it's just merch. Like, what the fuck is your guys' problem? I don't understand it. And I heard so many threats, like let me get some merch. Like, I think they threatened to kill an officer. They threatened to, do some, I heard some crazy ass shit. And while I was in line there, this is back when I first got in, they said, oh, this is how crazy we get. And I'm like, holy fuck. I knew as a Travis Scott fan, I knew, quote unquote, ragers were crazy. I didn't really understand it until I got to the event. So anyway, I'm in the merch line and whatever, and I'm waiting, I don't know, I want to say an hour and a half. I met some friends, I met some people there, they were cool, whatever. So we get there, and there was 4 spots for the line, where you can go in, you can ask for what merch you want, pay, and then get out. Well, the problem was that people kept pushing and pushing, so the officers, they closed it down where there's only one entrance. So, we're just literally waiting there. And then I didn't see this per se, but they're throwing stuff. I mean, that's what these people do, I guess. I really didn't know until I got there. That's what they do. They throw shit back and forth. So basically, I hear that someone threw one of those barricade fences at the people working there. So I'm just sitting there, I'm just sitting there what the fuck? And then I hear that it's closed. They shut it down for an hour. They shut it down as far as I was there. They just shut the whole thing down. They were like, this is too much. They're scared for their lives. And I'm like, I completely understand it. And I'm like, why are people going this crazy for just a t-shirt, a hoodie, a whatever? It's ridiculous. So anyway, I leave because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. This is stupid. I'm not going to stand here for an hour and a half. I paid money to see music. I paid money to see Travis Scott and everything like that. So I meet up with my friends about 30 minutes later. I tell them I couldn't get merch, sorry, and they were fine with it. It was mostly because, again, I'm not standing in a very long ass line or whatever. So then we get to the actual concert and stuff. So I mean, everything in that festival was a line. The lines were so ridiculous. And it was very clear that there were so many people at this event that it didn't even seem like they should have this many people. So fast forward to we went to the Master P show to start off. And I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't that crazy. I mean, it's Master P. What do you expect? But when everything started, I understood what mosh pits and the rage culture and all this stuff was when I went to that's the other one. So basically, I could not get merch, but basically what I did, I ended up getting some because someone let me cut them in front of line in one of the gift shops or whatever, and I was able to get in. And then along with that, I sought out somebody who was already in line who just bought me a shirt, and they didn't mind or whatever. There was a merch line back there, but I wasn't gonna wait that long. I mean, it was hectic. A lot of the shit was very hectic. It was very clear that the planning by Live Nation was so fucking bad. Anyway, so we get to the Don Toliver concert, and it was fun. I got on the Jumbotron. I mean, it's a little bit of, I enjoyed it. So basically, there's a mosh pit going on for 30 to 40 minutes or whatever. I have shitty stamina. So I know for a fact, once I started jumping around, I'm like, I need to get to somewhere. So I got to the little side barricade, and the side barricade, I mean, it was fine for me because it was fine. Not a lot of people were pushing and shoving, but it was crazy. There was a lot of people at even the Don Toliver thing, which was I want to say it was 3 or 4 o'clock. Yeah. So, everything was fine or whatever, but then we left, and I thought that was crazy. I thought so that's what the Travis show's gonna be like. No. So basically we get to, we leave, I'm leaving to go find a spot for Travis, because again, that's why I went there. I mean, the other artists were Lil Baby, SZA, Roddy Ricch. I mean, I like them, but I was basically there to see Travis, because I don't know if many of you know, I'm a huge Travis fan. I got a bunch of shit of his. I own a lot of the stuff he has. But anyway, so they go this is just a warm-up. I'm like, a warm-up? I'm like, that shit was crazy. So fast forward to the Travis Scott concert, because again, like, I didn't really do any of the other things. Like, I was going to actually go on the rides and all that kind of other stuff the next day. As most of you know, it was canceled. So anyway, the Travis Scott show, we get there a little early, like, I don't know, I want to say like an hour and a half, 2 hours early, and we're sitting in the middle of the stage. Like, it was like there was like two places where you can go. We went on the right side, and we were like in the middle of that, because my friend Bobby and Joe, they were like, oh, this is where, it'll be fun and whatever. So we get there, and as the show started ending, and as Travis, like, it was known that Travis is coming out, it started getting packed and more packed and more packed and more packed. And I got, not claustrophobia, but I got vibes of when, when I rushed the gate, not because I wanted to, but because I didn't want to get trampled. And I'm like, yeah, I got to get out of here. And I'm a huge Travis fan, so I wasn't going to be the first one to do it. My friend Blake, he left because he's a little bit smaller. He really wouldn't be able to handle it, and, which is understandable. So anyway, we leave. He leaves, and then like 5-10 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I got shit stamina. I'm probably not gonna be able to I probably won't be able to survive this. It's probably not a good idea for me. So I leave. And then my friend Jonas and Bobby, they left shortly after, because again, we all just realized it was like, this is just too much. So, the actual concert's going on. We're in the way back. We're like jumping around, having fun and whatever. And then we see Travis stop the show like twice or whatever, and he stopped the show because he saw like some people passing out and whatever. And yeah, I mean, that's basically my experience. But the one thing, I did not know Drake was coming out. I knew there was a surprise guest. I got word that maybe Drake or who was the other one that I thought? Oh, Kid Cudi and Kanye. Those were the three that people were thinking. So it was Drake. He came out. And what was weird to me was he was supposed to go to 11. Travis was supposed to go to 11. He ended at 10:15, which I was like, why did they? I was like, he was supposed to go longer. And when Drake was done with his set, he said, what was it? I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I'm like, oh shit. So Travis is going to keep going. And then he played Sicko Mode. They played Sicko Mode together. Drake left. And then Travis did Goosebumps. And then he said a very nice thing to all of us. I cannot remember what the hell it was for the life of me anyway. But anyway, so we leave, all that stuff happens. And that's my story. Basically, my story is that the fans were nuts. That's basically all I got to say. Like, most of the things that were happening, the fans were nuts. They were probably drugged out. They probably all wanted to see Travis, all that shit. But throughout the day, I saw, like, little kids at this thing. I saw families at this thing. And for me, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you do know this is a music festival. Like, yeah, it's got rides and shit, but like, if you do the smallest amount of research, you'd realize that your kids, and as a family event, you're not supposed to be here. So that's my issue with a lot of shit going on. It's like, people have to take responsibility for what they're doing. You're going to a music festival. There are dangers in that. That is the first thing I want to say. Like, there are definitely dangers in doing that. And also, use judgment. If you don't think you can survive a mosh pit with that many people, leave. Leave before the show starts. Leave when, like, that is another thing. Like, leave. You don't have to stay there. As a huge fan, I call myself a rager because I'm a huge Travis Scott fan. But I'm like, I probably will not be in a good position to be here. So just leave. Like, there is you do have a choice. You have a choice to stay or you can leave. You can leave. That's one thing I just want to make very clear. Like, people don't have to stay. And that's where I'm like, dude. Now, anyway, so what I heard throughout the concert was, like, people were pushing and pushing up and pushing up to try to see Travis or whatever. So, we wake up, we're about to go to the next one or whatever. I wake up, I get calls from my parents. I'm like, what the hell's going on? My friend tells me that it's canceled, that 8 people passed away. And again, rest in peace to the 10 that passed, because yesterday or 2 days ago, we just found out that a 9-year-old passed away. Now, that is my story. That is my experience there. It was very hectic. It was very clear that security was laxed, if that. It was pretty bad. Now let's get into all of the whatever you want to call them. So, all the news and shit. So, first off, I want to say this wholeheartedly. Like I said before, if you're under like 15, don't go to these things. It's not like what the parents should really do their due diligence. If you look up the word Travis Scott and Astroworld, the first thing will pop up is his album. And if you listen to his album, you should know. No, that's one thing. And the second thing is you will literally see like people injured at 2019 Astro Festival, people injured at 2018, like, and it's a music festival. Did you not go to a music festival as a kid? Like, there's drugs, there's a whole bunch of shit going on. It's not a place for kids. And I saw families walking around, I saw a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, what do you do? That's beside the point. But anyway, this whole demonic thing that I'm seeing, stop it, okay? He just puts on a lot of aesthetics, trippy shows, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's that. And then the third thing is people are like, he should have stopped the show. Have you ever performed in front of 50 to 100,000 people? It's kind of hard to see that, especially with pyros, fireworks, lights, among other things that are going off in your head and you have an earpiece in. Yeah, it's kind of hard to stop the show and everything like that. And people saying all this stupid shit like, oh, but he stopped the show. Yeah, he does that. He saw that people are passing out, and, you know, people are passing out. He's like, okay, you know, I'll stop the show, try to help him out. But you can't see much of it. You can't. It is literally like looking at, like, ants when you're there. Like, I don't know, but based off of the little overview that you can see, you can barely see shit, okay? And if you're not there, you can't really, like, say shit about this event, okay? So that's that. And then, you know, everything about Travis Scott, what was the other point I had? Basically, like, you know, he should have stopped it and whatever. You don't think they would have rioted if he just stopped the show? They would have rioted. These fans are not, they want to see Travis. It doesn't matter. It would have been worse if he stopped. It would have been worse. I'm not even that, like, it would have been worse. Okay? And, you know, am I saying Travis Scott is not responsible? No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that all parties should be responsible. Travis Scott should have the least amount because he is an artist. He probably planned what the festival will not look like, but like how it's designed. He probably planned like the designs of the rides, all that kind of shit. He probably pitched the idea and whatever. He probably pitched the idea of the mountain and they did it. All that stuff. Okay? It is not completely his fault. I want to say that right now. You know, that is the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard, is all this cancel culture. And we'll get to if Travis Scott is canceled. And again, no, he's not. So basically, you know, I just saw a lot of problems throughout this whole thing. And is that on Travis Scott? No, it's on the venue. It's on a whole lot of other things. And the other thing I wanted to mention is 2 years ago, 2019, they had 5 water stations. 5. Because it's in Houston and everyone gets hot and you need water. There was only 2 this time around. Well, no shit, people are going to pass out. They're probably dehydrated as hell. That is a venue problem. That is Live Nation's problem. That's the person who puts on this thing. Okay? So, you know, now, that is basically what has happened, what I saw, and all that kind of stuff. So all the things that you're seeing of people who haven't been there or whatever, they can't explain, like, what is going on. And I am trying to give my story out because I feel like it should be heard. I feel like it should be heard that this is what it was like. Does Travis Scott need to change? Maybe, but I also think that fans need to, I don't know, calm the fuck down. Like, that is, and people are saying, well, Travis Scott started this shit. Travis Scott did not tell you to absolutely try to kill yourself to try to see him, basically. Travis Scott did not tell you to try to rampage over people to try to see him. He did not incite a riot at this thing, okay? That's another thing. He did not do that, okay? Now, there are much more things that I can talk about with this whole thing because I'm fed up with all this bullshit. And if you're gonna comment down below and say like, oh, you know, all this fucking bullshit, like Travis Scott is completely liable, he's a piece of shit, whatever, just leave or put that down. I'm not even gonna see it, and I'm probably gonna delete it because I don't give a fuck. This is stupid, okay? Most of you who are doing this cancel Travis Scott culture don't care, didn't like Travis to begin with, and second, probably don't even give a fuck about the 10 people who passed away, okay? Like, it's so dumb. And now here's the last thing. I went over my personal experience, and no one can take away my personal experience. That is my experience. If you want to trash me for my opinion on Travis Scott, whatever. That is what happened at the event. That is what I saw. That is what I saw with my own 2 eyes. Okay? And then the second thing was all the rumors, all the stuff that you're hearing and everything like that. Yes, some of it is true, but a lot of it is bullshit. And you really should do some research before you absolutely like make an opinion. Now, the third thing is Travis got canceled. No, he's not. He's not going to get canceled, okay? First off, his numbers have risen. I can't explain that. Like, his numbers have risen in terms of Astroworld. It went up like 40% over the last week in streams, okay? His merchandise has not gone down in price, okay? He's still very big. He's still being talked about and whatever. Do I think that maybe that'll change? No, not gonna lie to you. No. I think that he probably won't perform for a while. Yeah, I do think so. But I do want to say that there are a lot of other rappers that encourage this rage culture, like Lil Uzi, Trippie Redd, Playboi Carti, just to name a few. Okay, and they're not really backing down about this. Like, this is a festival problem. This is a concert problem. This is not a Travis Scott problem. This is a concert festival problem. This is not a Travis Scott problem. Okay, he's not going to be canceled. He's probably going to be sued out the wazoo. Yes, that is definitely going to happen. But is he going to be canceled? No. There are many instances where people should get canceled, and this one, while I do believe, yes, it is his event, it is Astroworld and whatever, he put his name on it, he should not be canceled for this. All he was trying to do is put on a good show, okay? That is basically all I have. I wanted to make this video because I'm seeing a lot of false things out on the internet, and I want to tell my story of what happened from someone who was there. And I really want to put this shit to bed that Travis Scott is quote-unquote going to be canceled. I watched so many videos today where a sneakerhead went around, I can't remember the sneaker place, but he went around asking people if Travis Scott's going to be canceled. Nobody said yes. So all the people are saying he's going to be canceled. What basis do you have this on, okay? There are so many instances where you can say, like, oh, we should have... No, there's not a lot of things that he could have done. He could have probably stopped the show completely, but honestly, it probably would have been worse. I'm not even going to lie to you. I saw the crowd. I saw the type of people that were there. It probably would have been worse, okay? So, yeah, he's not going to be canceled. Yeah, it's going to be a while until, like, he probably comes out again and probably says some things or whatever. He's still got endorsement deals. Nike did not drop him. Nike is just postponing his thing. He is still a very big name. Like, he is still a very big name. He's not going to be, like, he's going to be... It might take a hit, but it's probably not going to be, he's not going to be completely canceled, okay? So that is all I really wanted to say, and again, it's not going to be great quality. I really just wanted to get this out there because I'm just sick and tired of the narrative of what I'm reading about all of this shit. So, anyway, if you want to see, I posted a thing about Reddit about my personal experience. It doesn't go into complete detail, but it says more of what I did. It's on, I have a Reddit page. Anything I have is Debo_523, Snapchat, anything. And I'm not going to promote this video or whatever, because again, I'm not trying to go viral over a tragedy. It was very sad. This is a very fucked up situation. Not much that, like, we can do about it now. There's not much, like, canceling someone is not going to bring them back or whatever. Like, all you're doing is ruining other lives. And for the people who are hating on people supporting Travis Scott, you guys are losers and assholes. Like, I got some death threats. I got called an idiot. I got called a bunch of different things. And honestly, that is terrible, okay? The negativity needs to stop. We need people to be positive. We need people to uplift each other. We don't need to be negative all the time. That is not why we're here. We're here to be positive. We're here to encourage people. We're here to help people, okay? So, yeah. I don't really have a way to wrap up this video. It's mostly just my story, what happened, and everything. So, I don't know if I'm going to be making a YouTube. I really don't. I just really wanted to get this out there. So, thank you for watching. Yeah, see ya.